everyone. I will be handling your biology sessions. So let us start with today's bio session on the topic of microorganisms. What we shall cover in this session, let us see. So we'll be learning about what are microorganisms. Under that we'll be learning what are viruses and what are bacteria. What are microorganisms? So the name microorganism can be split into two terms. Microorganism. Micro, which means very minute, and organisms, which means any living body. Hence, microorganisms are the organisms that are very minute and cannot be seen by our naked eye. So when it cannot be seen by our naked eye, then how can we see a microorganism? Therefore, microorganisms can be seen and studied under an instrument called as microscope. Where do we find these microorganisms? These microorganisms are found everywhere in the nature. It could be either in soil, in water, in air, or in any other living organisms. These microorganisms can survive only under favorable conditions. Hence, they are active only under favorable conditions. The science that deals with the study of microorganism is known as microbiology, and microbiologists are the people who study microbiology. So going in depth about these microorganisms can be studied broadly under 5 different categories. They are virus, bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa. So in this particular session, you will be learning about virus and bacteria. So firstly, we'll learn what a virus is. Yes, when we hear the term virus, the first thing that pops into our head is, yes, it is COVID-19. Here, COVID-19 means CO represents corona, VI represents virus, D represents disease, and 19 represents the year. Yes, the current pandemic situation has caused because of this COVID-19. So, we have to remain safe and protect ourselves by wearing masks or either maintaining social distancing. So this is a particular group of virus which has caused a major destruction in the human society. So let us study further about viruses. What is a virus? Virus is derived from a Latin word which means poison. Virus live in us but aren't technically alive. So this statement clearly states that virus cannot survive without a host cell. What is this host cell? A host cell or host body is another organism which is required for the virus to survive. So the virus cannot survive alone. It requires another body or a host body to survive. Virus are considered to be very minute compared to that of a bacteria. And study of virus is called as virology. Virology is the study of virus. So as you can see here, a picture of virus. This is a structure of virus. You can see in the center, the virus contains a core DNA or RNA. What is this DNA or RNA? DNA is the genetic material present in any organisms. This genetic material or DNA is surrounded by a protein coat. It is said that in few virus, this protein coat is covered by an envelope, as you can see, a spherical envelope which is having spikes around them. Why do we need the spikes? These spikes help the virus to get attached to the host cell, that is, get attached to another organism so that they can survive. Virus are known to have different shapes such as a spherical or a rod shape. Here you can see in the picture it is a spherical shaped virus. In the center we have a genetic material. The genetic material is surrounded by a protein coat. In few virus, this protein coat is surrounded by a envelope, and the envelope has spikes which help the virus to get attached to the host cells. Let us see what are the characteristics of a virus. So, the characteristics of a virus are classified under two categories, namely living characters and non-living characters. So, let us see one by one what are living characters and what are the non-living characters. Living characters. So, to say that a virus is a living organism, these are the points that represent it. Virus are capable to reproduce only inside the host cell. So the virus can reproduce and regenerate only inside another organisms or under another host cell. They are resistant to heat, chemical and radiation. Viruses are sensitive. They are very sensitive to certain amount of temperature, to certain chemicals and certain radiation. So this represents the living characters of a virus. What are the non-living characters? They are inactive in free environment. As I said, they require a host cell for anything. So until they find a host cell, they are not alive. Hence, they are inactive in a free environment, and they can be stored in a crystallized form for a long duration. So this represents the non-living characters. This is a picture of a virus under a microscope. As you can see clearly, the virus is a spherical shaped virus. This is the image of another type of virus, which is a rod shaped virus. So now we have learnt what a virus is, what is the structure of a virus, what are the characters of a virus. Now we shall be learning what a bacteria is and what it looks like. Bacteria are single-celled microorganisms. The statement clearly says that bacteria have only one cell in them. So these microorganisms, bacteria, are single-celled organisms. Bacteria are also very minute that they cannot be seen by our naked eye. Hence, we require a microscope to view them. Similarly, like virus, bacteria are also found everywhere around us in the nature. It could be either in the water, in the air, in the soil, or even in any other living organisms. Study of bacteria is called as bacteriology. Study of bacteria is called as bacteriology, and the people who study bacteriology are called as bacteriologists. So I have a question. Are all bacteria harmful? No, not at all. Not all bacteria are harmful to the human. There are some bacteria which are very useful for the humans. For example, conversion of milk to curd. Curd has a particular group of bacteria called as lactobacillus. When we add this curd, small amount of curd into the milk, after few hours the milk get converted into the curd, and that is due to the presence of lactobacillus. Hence, the bacteria called as lactobacillus is very helpful in converting milk into curd. Yes, and there are certain bacteria which are very dangerous. So, such bacteria are called as pathogens. Pathogens are the group of bacteria that causes diseases to the other living organisms. So, we have useful bacteria as well as harmful bacteria called as pathogens. So, this is how a bacteria looks, the structure of a bacteria. So let us study further what are the components present in the bacteria. The bacteria has an outer covering called a cell wall. The cell wall is also found in the plant's cell. That we'll be learning it later. So as you can see in the picture, the outer covering is made of cell wall. Bacteria is a prokaryotic cell which does not have a nuclei and well-defined organelles. So what is a prokaryotic cell? So in this picture you can see the genetic material DNA which is present in the center, the purple color material, that is the genetic material which is present. This genetic material is not surrounded by any membrane. So this genetic material is free in the cytoplasm. It does not have any covering called as nuclear membrane. Such cells are called as prokaryotic cell. The prokaryotic cells are the cells in which the genetic material does not have a proper nuclear membranes. Inside the cell wall you can see there is a cell membrane or a plasma membrane. Then inside the plasma membrane we have cytoplasm which consists of several extra chromosomal DNA called as plasmids. As I said earlier, the genetic material which is present does not have a nuclear membrane. The nucleoid consists of nuclear material without a nuclear membrane. And you can see in the front there is a long tail-like structure that is called as flagella. Flagella is useful for locomotion for the bacteria. So this is how the bacteria appears, which has an outer cell wall. Inside the cell wall we have plasma membrane. Inside the plasma membrane we have cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm we have the genetic material, and this genetic material does not have a proper nuclear membrane around it. And we have a flagella which is helpful for the bacteria for locomotion. What are the different types of bacteria? The bacteria are classified into different categories based on shape of the cell, mode of respiration, number and arrangement of flagella. So let us see one by one. So the classification of bacteria based on shape. The first one is bacillus. So you can see in the picture the bacteria are rod shaped. The bacteria are rod shaped. Such bacteria are called as bacillus. The second one is spirilla. The spirilla are a group of bacteria that are spiral in shape. That is spiral shaped bacteria. The third one is Cocci. Cocci are a bacteria that are spherical in shape. So you can see in the picture, the bacteria are spherical shaped bacteria and they are called as cocci. The last one is Vibrio. As you can see in the picture, the bacteria are slightly curved or slightly comma shaped. Such bacteria are called as Vibrio. Vibrio are a group of bacteria that consists of comma shaped bacteria. So the next classification is based on mode of respiration. So under the mode of respiration, we have two categories: aerobic bacteria, anaerobic bacteria. What are these aerobic and anaerobic bacteria? Aerobic bacteria are the bacteria that requires oxygen for respiration. So aerobic bacteria are the group of bacteria that requires oxygen for respiration, whereas anaerobic bacteria are a bacteria which does not require any oxygen for the process of respiration. So the last mode of classification is based on number and arrangement of flagella. The flagella is useful for locomotion. Locomotion means movement. So based on that, the first one is monotrichous. As you can see in the picture clearly, the bacteria has a single flagella at one end. So mono means one, trichous is flagella. So the bacteria which have only one flagella at one end are called as monotrichous. The next one is lophotrichous. Lophotrichous means a tuft of flagella is present at one end of the bacteria. The picture clearly shows a tuft of flagella present at only one end of the bacteria. The third one is amphitrichous. You can see the picture. At both the ends of the bacteria there is a flagella. Such bacteria are called as amphitrichous. Flagella present at both the ends. The fourth one is peritrichous. Peri means all around. Trichous means flagella. Hence, these are the bacteria which have flagella all around their body. The last one is atrichous. Atrichous. So the term itself represents bacteria which do not have any flagella. Such bacteria are called as atrichous. Bacteria without any flagella. So now I want you all to list down the names of any three virus, any three useful bacteria in our daily life, and any three pathogenic bacteria. Thank you.